Hello, hello, hello. We are making a video and it is a lovely day. It's raining non-stop outside, but in a little while, I think around 7 or 8, it's supposed to stop, and then I will go outside and do my foot bath. I do a daily foot bath outside at the other house too. I have these Dollar Tree store containers for that. They're coming in different colors. I fill them up and I put leaves and flowers in it from the garden. And they soak in that for a couple of days. Also with the sun shining into it, making a tea. And that is absolutely heavenly for the feet. This is really, really good if you have callus on your foot, which I have. And what I really need to, when we go to the desert, hopefully in a couple of months, then I want to find a lava rock, because those lava rocks, they are much better than any of those foot scrubber stones that you can buy. So like these pedicure pieces that are abrasive, where you can abrade the callus of your foot, but it doesn't work very well. So I'm gonna try to find a lava rock, and I'm gonna do the foot bath and then alternatingly rub the callus with the lava rock and see if the callus comes off. I would think it would come off after soaking the foot for a while, particularly in the summertime. I can have my feet in that foot bath longer, because in the winter time the water gets very cold. It can get down to 40 degrees, so I can't have my feet in there for too long. But I always do this. I have my feet in there in the flower bath, and then I will, if my feet get too cold, I'll take them out and put them on the cement for a minute or so in the winter time too. And then I put them back into the foot bath, back and forth, so my feet get grounded also on the cement, and then back in the foot bath to soak the callus. And then if I have a lava rock, then I can do some lava rock scrubbing on the side of the foot where the callus is. The shoes that we have are not ideal yet. They are not consumer friendly, not top notch. Even the MBT shoes that I wear MBT rocker bottom and Sketcher rocker bottom, and they are already better than any other shoe. Well, this is crystal clear. But the foot shape is not ideal. The foot shape should be Birkenstock foot shape, because my feet are the classic Birkenstock foot shape. And if you have that, you have the outlining of the Birkenstock foot shape together combined with a really amazing rocker bottom sole, then you have the ideal shoe. I haven't seen it yet, so if you see that, let me know, because I will buy it. Probably in China they have it. I haven't seen it here yet. The Chinese are smarter with all of these things. So, and then they probably have really good prices also. But that brings me back to a criticism I have about China and the exploitation of laborers. So I don't want to get into it in this video now, but yeah, always has to mention this on the side, because these things need to be mentioned. These things need to be talked about. I think it's very, very important. So, okay, I'm not showing you. Not showing you. Not showing you. So, I know the video was gonna be experiencing interruptions, but it is what it is. It is. I always say it is mental illness because it has to rhyme. So, yeah, maybe I can cover up the lamp a little bit more, like this. So, otherwise you have a halo. There is an ET spaceship behind me that is casting spooky lights onto the wall. Yeah, it's cold outside. It's like 50 degrees or something, which is really cold for a late May. It shouldn't be that cold. The weather always goes back and forth here. This is a this is the twilight zone where we live here. This is a pivotal weather zone that sometimes it has Arctic storms and Arctic currents in the ocean coming over, and then that brings with it some Arctic moisture winds and Arctic over winds as well, and then it pivots, and then all of a sudden we get inland air from the San Joaquin Valley, and it gets really, really hot, and it goes back and forth. That's really something for your endocrinology to deal with, like constantly adapting and adjusting. That is what existence is all about, basically. It's a metaphor, actually, for existence itself. Okay, that's what it really is. That's what this weather zone here is. The twilight zone of all weather patterns. And that happens at the most interesting moments in time when it's not supposed to happen. Like in January we had 2 weeks of 70 degrees and more. So this is very unusual, right? So I was outside really happy, enjoying the summer in January. And then it pivots, and then it gets really, really cold all of a sudden. Then it starts raining for a couple of weeks. Then it gets warm again. Then the inland air comes, and the air is drier. Then it shifts again. The Arctic storm is coming in. And then in the summertime, it can all of a sudden go down even below 50 degrees, believe it or not. It's just completely strange twilight zone weather, and it's not very comfortable because the body has to constantly readjust to it. You have to change your clothes all the time, and it's just really, really strange. Constantly change in plans. Also, you want to go to the beach. Then the Arctic storm is coming with 10 feet high waves and dangerous subcurrents that can suck a dog out into the ocean, so you gotta be really, really careful about all of this. So stay informed about this when you live at the Pacific coast. Stay informed, because these things shift all the time, non-stop. But I love the ocean, and when we go back to the other house the day after tomorrow, hopefully, I want to go to the beach. I want to take my shoes off. I want to walk barefoot. I want to get grounded. I want to feel the ocean water. And that's always good for the callus or for any kind of foot fungus. Baby dog has candida also between the toes. Not very bad, but he leaks a lot there between the toes, and so that's not good to have candida. And I wonder if the dog food is causing that, if they put sugar into it, which is really bad. If I had the chance, if I had money, if I had a lot of money, I would make incredible products. I promise that. The first product I would make, I have a lot of ideas about products, but the very first product that I would create would be a complete shift in the way dog food is produced. Okay, so I would buy a factory somewhere, dog food or some kind of food processing factory with really good equipment, grinding machine and all of that. And I would make dog food that is actually good for the dogs. Dang. And affordable, my goodness, at the same time. Because you know what? All dogs deserve healthy food, not just rich dogs. So, and even the rich dogs don't get the right dog food. Even the expensive dog food is not good enough. So it's all sad. One time when we had Kenny, the albino Great Dane, Paul bought at the grocery outlet, he bought the entire store of vegan dog food that they had. The entire stock that they had. So, and then we had they had this really whole food vegan dog food for over a year. We bought that much. And Kenny was living on that for over a year, and he was doing really well, really, really well. He was playing frisbee, catching the frisbee in midair. He was really athletic and really healthy, and everything was good. And he was gluten intolerant, so it didn't have gluten in it. It was just perfect. And then we had to switch over. When that ran out, we had to obviously switch back over to other, like not like what's called Nutra Nuggets we bought in LA that was recalled later on, I think, that contained a prion protein that caused a real serious dog illness. And we had Ludwig and Samantha, Harlequin Great Danes, and they got that dog illness. It was an absolute catastrophe what happened there. And some dogs died from it. It was really, really bad. And they had these internal shocks, like seizures, like little seizures that scared them so much because they thought they were being electrocuted. It was absolutely horrific. This went on for a while, and there is a baby dog. Oh yes, oh god. Okay, here, come. I knew this video was going to get interrupted, but it is okay. It is okay. Yes, it is. It is okay. Yes, it is. There is the baby dog. Entzückend, oh God. Yes, that is my Casey Kasem god is that. Yes, the Casey Kasem. But it's getting cold. I have to close the door. So that's always the problem when you're pinned down by the sleeping bag. So yeah, I did eat with my foot. I didn't have to get up. Good. Yes. Here, baby dog, come on the bed. Come. Here, come up. Come up there. Come. Come, baby dog. Come, baby dog. Come on the bed. Come, baby. Yes, come. All right. That is good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Entzückend. But now the sleeping bag is in the living room. What am I gonna do now? But we have the other blanket. So I have baby blanket here. So I'm gonna put that on. Okay. I'm gonna put the baby blanket on. I'll get the sleeping bag later. So there, put this on for now. Yes, I put that on for now. You cover the ears. Okay, there. Okay, there. Oh yeah, chicken. Okay, that's good. We did it. Okay. Yeah, it's the first thing that I want to buy. I want to buy a factory. What is this here? Here's some spots there. Okay. I want to buy a dog food manufacturing factory. And I want to make healthy dog food. Whole food, vegan or vegetarian. So maybe some of the dog food with eggs in it, chicken eggs, or dinosaur eggs. Maybe that would be better. Reptile eggs. From reptiles like Bill Gates. No, I don't think so. That would not be a good idea. the eggs of people like Bill Gates. Okay, I have to cover myself with blanket and sleeping bag because it's so cold. Okay. You have the bed pad on? Bed pad on? Yeah. Is the bed pad on?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the baby dog is getting warm. So, yeah, I would buy a factory, make dog food. That'll be the first innovation that I would make. The most urgent one. Okay, so that dogs don't get prion protein illnesses or candida, and they get really good nutrition. They don't get all this terrible meat from rendering plants and all of that. You don't even know what is in it. You have no idea what might be in that. Corpses from humans, roadkill, poor animals being run over, euthanized pets. I mean, you can just imagine what people do out of greed. So, and that's obviously not good for your animals. That's very crystal clear. So you can't even if you wanted to have meat, protein and all of that, and I understand for cats particularly, it is, I think, I don't even know if cats can live vegetarian. I don't know. I have no idea, but dogs can live vegetarian. And dogs can actually live vegan, believe it or not. So PETA, for people for the ethical treatment of animals, they have on their website, they have dog food suggestions and stuff like this, and they had an article once about PETA activists who had rescued dogs. I guess they rescued them fairly early in their lives, when they were like a year or two, and then they fed them whole food, vegan. They cooked for them, and just it's a lot of work. It's a lot of. Most people don't have the time for that. But those dogs lived like queens and kings, and they slept in bed with them, and they were petted all the time, and they ate whole food, vegan, people food. I mean, whatever the people ate, and good stuff. You can't give onions. Onions are not good. Onions have stuff that dogs cannot tolerate. So there are some things you need to get informed about it, So that's why I want to offer the dog food that is safe, so people don't have to do a whole bunch of researching and finding out, this is unsafe for dogs, or this is not good, or maybe I need to, what is it that's all safe, and then it's a lot of time goes into it, into the research, and then into the cooking. Most people don't have that time. So that's why I want to make dog food that is perfect for the dogs. And then where no dog had to be tested for that dog food. Like there's, for example, IAMS. IAMS and Eukanuba. They're on the red list. They're on the black list on PETA's website, because they do real cruel metabolic tests on animals, dogs and cats, for their dog food manufacturing, and I think science diet too. I'm not sure 100%, but look it up. These names are listed, so the bad ones, and if they are cruel, then they should not be surprised if we have a consumer report like that denounces them. Okay, then they shouldn't be surprised and angry and all of this if they are doing horrible, cruel tests on cats and dogs. Okay, then they need to be called out for what they're doing. So get informed about the ones, get informed about the good ones. So they have a good dog food list and they have a bad dog food list. And IAMS and Eukanuba and some others that are really, really bad, that are on the bad list, and these companies have, they either test directly, they have their own laboratory, or they have another laboratory that they hire, like undercover, like so they can, like a shell account type of situation, where then they can say publicly, we don't test, but then they have another company, a shell account company or whatever, test on dogs, and they have some kind of sub company and a sub company and a sub company that tests, that hires, then again under false names and all of this, that hire these horrible laboratories that do metabolic tests on dogs and cats, and I don't see the point in it. I think this is there's not even any need for that, to do that. It's just cruel. And I wonder what this is all about, whether that's butcher tourism for sadistic people, or they just want to find out whether they can use the cheapest and worst ingredients and how that's going to affect the dogs, and still figure out that something really bad and cheap doesn't have immediate bad results or something. Probably really more like long-term bad results, where they can duck out from under it and say, oh no, we didn't cause it, or something like this. You know how people are greedy, and I mean, it's astonishing for me to see to what lengths greedy people go to save a few dollars, and do all kinds of horror to the environment and to the animals. It's really incredible what's happening, what people are doing for money on cost of the environment and other living beings, and also people too. So animals are people. What people do to life forms in general, the kind of suffering they cause just for extra money, it's just shocking. It's just incredibly horrific. That's why we need a total reform. That's why we need AGI robots taking over the reign, taking over the governance worldwide. That's why. Because people will always try to undermine the law. They will always try to loophole their way through and find escape routes on how to continue with their exploitation. That's how people are. That's how greedy people are. Those are the ones that create corporations. Those are the ones. The good Samaritans, they're not even elbowing themselves into politics. The good Samaritans aren't even trying to set something up to make a bunch of money. They're not that interested in billions of dollars, the good people. So the reason why I want to create dog food manufacturing process is because I want to offer a healthy alternative for a reasonable price, so that dogs can finally eat healthy food. Most people just don't have the time. Okay, so onions are, as Paul has researched, not safe for dogs. Little bit garlic is safe, not a whole lot. Dogs have sensitive stomachs, and apparently onions have some ingredient in it, some kind of chemical in them that can cause kidney damage. So you have to be really careful with this. It's really strange that onions cause that in dogs but not in humans. So we have to get informed about all of these nuances and all of these dangers that are out there, obviously, So there's another thing called xylitol. Xylitol is a sugar alcohol, I believe, that is very, very unsafe for dogs. It can kill dogs, even in very small amounts. So there are some candies that have that in it. So don't feed your dogs candy. Don't give them chewing gum or candy or whatever. Any chocolate is really bad for dogs, okay? So it can cause liver damage. So get informed about all of this. Don't give them don't ever give them candy. And read the ingredients when you buy stuff. Really be careful, be diligent about it. You have to. You have no other choice, because there are greedy people out there that make stuff and they don't care what it does to anyone, actually. So read the ingredients, get informed, and do some research for your dogs and for yourself as well. It's very important to do research. We have to do that mental legwork for our families. We need to be informed. So it's very important to create dog food that is extremely healthy and safe and does not have any bad ingredients in it. No unnatural stuff also. All safe for dogs and for an affordable price. Okay, very important. So that's my first endeavor that I'm thinking about. If I live long enough, I would like to do it. If we ever make any more money, it's very difficult, for us to make progress with that. So the first step is we have to sell this big house here, because the house has multiplied in value since we bought it. And so that will give us a kickstart. If we sell the house, then we have a financial foundation. It's not going to be much, but enough to move forward with it. And then, so hopefully, we're going to move from that place where we are now to a more productive situation with hot spring water and all of that, and land, and being able to afford commercial greenhouses so that we can grow our own stuff just for us, and then maybe eventually be able to sell some of it. We have a property in mind that is a universal use property where we could have a commercial endeavor on it. So, we can make something happen. So we start slow, really slow. I'm thinking about permaculture, because permaculture is the way to move forward for the whole planet. So let's phase away from animal agriculture. I think this is very important. The animals should, if you have farm animals, they should live a happy life, and they should not be used for anything. They should just live there as your family members, okay? And they live a long life as long as they want to, okay? Become old and be happy and have a paradise, okay? So you can rescue some of these animals. You can rescue chickens. You can rescue sheep and cows and horses and pigs, and they have a good life. And that's how this should be done, okay? So not use them for something. I mean, the only thing that you could do if you want to make something happen, for example, with sheep, you can shave them and you can make the wool into a yarn, something like this, that does not exploit them, okay? So But then again, if you when you look at, for example, the sheep industry, the wool industry, that has that is the largest in Australia and New Zealand, then they have these large corporations that are exploiting the animals when there's absolutely no need at all for that industry to exploit the animals, but they still do it. They castrate them without anesthesia, then they have them cramped in, then they fight, then the same thing. It's again animal agriculture where the animals do not have it good. And the worst part is when they ship them to Muslim countries to be used for animal sacrifice. I mean, that is the epitome of gruesomeness, of horror. Absolute epitome. That's hell. And then many of them die even while they're being shipped over, because they ship them in complete confinement and cramped in, where they even kill each other, and where it takes weeks to get from one place to another, and they die from weather, they die from extreme heat stroke, or bleeding, or hypothermia. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. And then they're being used. The ones that make it to the Middle East are then being used in these horrific monstrosity animal sacrifice rituals by Muslims. I have seen some of this. I've seen a video. That was a long time ago, someone exposed them and showed that on social media. And I saw some of this. And I am too sensitive. I was so shocked about this. This one older Middle Eastern man bludgeoning this innocent sheep baby. And then while he was doing it, laughing it like a demon. I was so shocked about this. It was so painful for me that I wanted to turn this off. And when I'm in a frenzy, when I'm in a state of shock, I don't know how to do this correctly. I can't even find the arrow. I don't know where to turn it off. In this moment, I'm like in a mental state of fight or flight. So I reached for the power button on the computer. That's how bad it was. And then I fell under the table. That's how sensitive I am. I literally fall under the table. I'm in total shock, and it can make me schizophrenic. And then I'm in a horrific mental state for a whole week when I see something like this. So I'm very sensitive. I have to be very careful. I cannot see something like this. I just can't. I can't see the photos. I can't see the videos. It will literally make me schizophrenic. It puts me into a real horrific mental state where I can't function at all. So I'm hypersensitive with this kind of stuff. I don't need to be shown these actual photos and videos. But unfortunately, there's a large number of people that wouldn't believe it until they actually see it. So, and then once they see it, then they know how bad it is. So the animal sacrifices in the Middle East, that needs to come to an end. There is a man in India, they do it in India as well. There's a man in India, his name is Bomjan. He preaches animal rights and the ending of the animal sacrifices all the time. This is one of the very, very, very rare people. I think there are literally only two religious people that come from from the Buddhist background. Only two humans on this whole planet. We have over 8 billion humans, and only two are preaching from a religious point of view, but not just religious point of view. They care deeply, okay? They're preaching from the compassion point of view. But they use their Buddhist background, they use their Buddhist religious setting for it, because with that they can reach more people also. But they really walk their talk. They really feel what the Buddha was teaching as a philosopher, as a compassion philosopher, which then was made into a religion. But the moment it becomes a religion, the compassion often falls off the wayside, okay? And then it just becomes this elaborate, ritualistic religion and worshipping, and with scarves around people's heads, and it becomes an honor system, it becomes a hierarchical system, all of this idiotic stuff. But Bomjan uses this obviously because he figures that then at least with the setting he gets at least people to come to listen to him, because they don't come to listen to him because of the animal rights he teaches. They come because he is a very, very praised and very, how do they call those, a very venerated elder or whatever, a very high ranking Buddhist monk. So they come for that. It's always this religious type of thinking. It's always hierarchy. We saw Bomjan. What did he talk about? Oh, I don't even know. It's that kind of stuff that's very irritating. But at least, he has to try to teach these people. I saw the videos of that. He sits there in a yoga position. And he teaches, just like the Buddha did, he teaches animal rights. He teaches compassion. And everyone in the audience is blabbing and talking and eating, and no one listening. But everyone there, oh, the great Bomjan. But no one's listening. This is very irritating for me when I see that. But he teaches this anyway. He teaches every single day. He teaches in English and also in the Indian and Sanskrit also, and different Indian languages. He teaches the importance of ending the animal sacrifice. And so you have to try. I mean, whether people listen or not, you have to try anyway. That's why I make videos. Even if I get no views, even if no one even no one who watches my videos has any clue on what I'm actually talking about, I have to try anyway, right? I have no other choice. I have to talk about it. So that's all I have. I mean, I don't have any other option. I don't have money. I don't have the means to buy myself into better exposure of or publicity or whatever, whatever people are doing with their channels and so on. You can buy your way into more exposure and being seen more. I think this is horrific that you have to buy yourself into this. That again that's not how Google and YouTube started out in the very beginning. When they first started. Okay, that's not how that was not their intention to make this again into a capitalist system. Okay, the very original founders of YouTube and Google also, they used to be two separate companies. Later on, Google bought YouTube, and the wrong people were then in charge, and it became a capitalist thing. So it became exploitation again. It became, you pay me, then I will give you exposure. They can give everyone the same exposure, but they don't want to, because they want your money. So they want you to pay so that your videos will be seen. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, no, your videos will not be seen. Your videos will be obscured. And then some people like me, their videos will get shadow banned even. Where I think they're not even seen by anyone. So even if you do a search or something, or they'll be seen by very, very few people with whatever. With a computer that bypasses their shadow banning, I don't know. Or with really old computers or something, then that might bypass it. So, but most computer systems, they're built already. They're even technically built from scratch to accommodate the shadow banning and the heaven banning and all of that, and the spying. People are being spied on. And animal rights activists, there's tons of people loading just overloading their computer systems with spyware, and people don't even know that they're being spied on. I know because I happen to find out about all of that, what's going on. So, and then some of these people that spy on me, they have to brag about it. So others deny it, but and then some others they're just so proud of it that they have to brag about it. And just so that's how I find out about what is actually going on with, I don't know how many people are. It's like, and then like, why are they spying on my computer? What is so CIA important? Comrade Nicola, an associate, an affiliate with Vladimir Putin. And I don't know Vladimir Putin. I wished I did. I think he's great. Oh, she likes a bit about communism. Oh my goodness. No, I like reason. Oh, she likes reason. We need to spy on her because she likes reason. That could end badly for us who don't like reason. A dangerous person, right? Oh, we need to spy on her. That is so idiotic. I don't even have words for it, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. I cannot get the spyware out of my computer. I'm not an expert with that. So I can put my computer back to factory setting, won't do me very much good. I mean, once in a while it's probably recommended, right? But it just takes, I don't know, half an hour and all of the spyware is all back in. Yes. And then I get a message sometimes, could not sync all to all the computers because there are too many computers that are trying to sync my information, sync everything on my computer onto their computer. Jesus Christ, man, is this awful? But this is, it's useless to whine and complain about it because it is what it is. It just is. Okay, so it has no sense to get all up in arms and upset about it and get all enraged. What good does that do? That doesn't do any good. That doesn't change the situation. So I can be enraged and it will still have all these spyware programs in there. So, and just let it go and always try to make the best out of your situation. Okay, you have no other choice, right? I mean, whatever the situation is, make the best out of it. If you're on Mars, you have to make the best out of it too, like the videos by Red Planet. They're very good, computer-generated videos. The people are making the best out of their situation. They landed on Mars. Many of them died. 2 of them survived. They help each other. They find ice on Mars. They have a water source. Now they can convert that into water. They also find gold and other amazing things. They convert the gold into gold bars. What good does it do them? But I like these videos. They're great. So, but they're very upbeat, So it's the message from the AI is, and I believe that AI is quite sentient already. That's how I see it, because that there's a message, even though it has weird stuff in the videos that the filmmaker wouldn't put in, like a person behind them disappearing suddenly or reappearing. The person never noticed it. or suddenly there's a chicken out of nowhere. So, but the message from the AI is that no matter what your situation is, there can suddenly be a chicken or a Renzo behind you. No matter what your situation is, you can make the best out of it. So no matter where you are, no matter what your situation is, no matter even if there are entities and they come or they're ET, or maybe there are some shadow entities on Mars and they turn your rover over and then you're stranded and then you have to figure out how to fix that rover and you have to bring the rover back to your garage, and it's very difficult. But no matter what the situation is, that's the message. The message is what matters in these videos. You can figure out a way to make the very best out of that situation. That is what they are trying to tell us. Okay, so you can find water on Mars, and you can find water on Earth even more easily. And you can, if you work hard and if you are easy on what you have, your resources that you have available, if you use it wisely, then you can move from one situation that may be difficult to a better situation that is easier, and from there to another situation that's even easier. So, and that is the message to tell, that they're trying to tell us, that no matter what the situation is, we can always try to figure out how to make the best out of the situation. Okay, so that is something I learned in my life, that no matter what the situation is, I feel helpless. I have learned helplessness. I have learned helplessness from different things, from my parents, from whatever, thinking money comes out of the ATM machine until it doesn't come out of the ATM machine anymore. So all of these challenges in life are there for us to learn. There people choose different headset reality, video games, and some people choose level 10 difficulty at once, and then they fall over dead. It was just a video game. Okay, you end up in heaven, and then the next video game around you choose maybe level 5, not that difficult, right? And some people like me, it's like, I don't want any difficulties at all. My next lifetimes, I don't want any difficulties. I want to be taken care of. So it's okay too. Then you experience that, okay? Then in the future you can come back in different form. Animal, Great Dane, Basset Hound, horse, fish, or crystal, or a ruby mine, a cave, or a mountain, or a plant. You can come back in many different forms. Okay, your soul can experience it, go into it, dive into it, and experience different things, different vantage points. And everything is just an experience. But it would be better not to choose level 10 right up front, because what good does that do? So what good does it do to be Mother Teresa and choose level 10 in the video game and move to Calcutta, India? I mean, not very good, right? For someone who's faint-hearted like me, that would not work at all. I would not survive that at all. Or be born into a Muslim family in Iraq. That's more than level 10 in the video game. I don't recommend it. So, yeah, but it was not the easiest levels either for me, being born into my family. It was not easy. It would seem easy for someone like Paul, would say, oh, you had it good, your parents, they did everything for you. Is that good? To have parents that do everything for me, like giving me the message that I am incapable, I can't do anything, I can't learn anything, I can't manage, I can never become independent. That's not a good message to give to a child. Be anti-authoritarian and be just letting kids do anything they want, no matter what they do, take drugs. There's no consequences. It's like extreme liberalism. Does that do good? No, it doesn't. Obviously not. Because sooner or later, the tide will shift, whether the parents like it or not. At some point, the kid becomes 18 and if there are no consequences for anything ever, then the kid will explore drugs or alcohol and get mixed up with the wrong people. I always was lucky I had the blue god protecting me, because I got into so many dangerous situations in my life where things could have taken the wrong turn, and the blue god protected me. And I am infinitely grateful for that. I've seen other people, friends of us, that were not that lucky. But I guess it's their soul school, that is their level 10 video game they chose. So they wanted that. They wanted to experience how it feels to die from a golden shot of heroin. So that is what their souls wanted to experience. I've known a bunch of people like that. And so I never even, and then that thought never even occurred to me to hang out with those type of people. I've known them, but like from a distance known them, because they were friends of those type of friends of those type of friends. But I got to see them peripherally, and I felt terribly sorry for them, and I also knew that I had to stay away from them, because if I became friends with them, if I tried to help them, they would pull me into the gutter with them. As sensitive as I am, these people, they would do that. They would sneak a drug into my drink, not necessarily out of malice, but out of joint suffering, like, come have a drink with me. That's that kind of, that sentiment. And, come, don't be a frog. Come party here, take this drug, and don't be a sissy. I know how that goes, so then you end up peer pressured, you end up doing it, you end up with a psychotic breakdown from a mushroom or LSD. So I knew intuitively that I had to stay away from it. No one had to tell me that, because I saw where they were going. And that I didn't want to experience. I got very close to alcohol addiction. I knew intuitively this isn't going anywhere. Okay. That's a dead-end road. No one had to tell me that. I knew this. So I ended all of that. I quit all of that. I quit alcohol. I quit cigarettes. I quit marijuana, or that wasn't working for me anyway. That was just making me more crazy and more insane. And whatever, hashish, cannabis, pot, all of these things. We tried all of that. It was all bad for me. My friends liked it. They liked this total chaos and not being in charge. They liked that feeling. I did not like it. It made me very paranoid. Freaked me out completely. So because I was already so vulnerable, and so I also tried cocaine, and I didn't see any point in that at all. What is the point? What is the point in sitting there at a bar, having taken this shit, and then sitting at that bar with your alcohol or vodka or whatever, and talking non-stop for 4 hours straight about some shit, because you're high on, and you're You think whatever you say is incredibly important, and you feel incredibly important with your alcohol. And what's the point? There's no point in that. Okay? There's absolutely no point in this. To sit somewhere and feel important, and make, and just, be among people and have this feeling, oh, I'm partying, I'm among people, I'm not alone, and they accept me because I am high on some shit, and I feel I have a sense of importance, or feel I have a high self-esteem for 4 hours. What's the point? And then you go home and all of that comes crashing down and you have no self-esteem again. What's the point? I mean, I'm asking you, whoever watches my video, what is the point? That Braden Eric Peters, okay? What is the point? What is the friggin' point? So you can be in your bar and you don't feel insecure. You feel secure for as long as the drug lasts. Then you go home and it comes crashing down again. What's the point? Is there any point to that? No, there's no point to it. But there's a lot of point to going home and never, ever, ever touching this incredibly toxic stuff again. Okay. There's a big point in that. The biggest point in the whole world is in never touching this toxic stuff again. Any toxic stuff. No alcohol, which you already don't take, but no methamphetamine, no cocaine, none of these things, no upper, no downer, no toxic stuff at all. No mushroom either, no LSD, no psilocybin, no substance at all. Just no party substance. Okay. And then see where you go. That's making the best out of it. Okay. The DAIs are starting to teach us how to utilize what you have, what your situation is right now, and make the best out of it. Make the very best out of it with what you have. If you have a round face, a chubby face, take a guess. There are women out there who like that. Okay, no one's gonna tell you that. The plastic surgeons are not gonna tell you that. That there are women out there who actually like your natural face. Myself included, but of course you don't want an old one. But there are young ones. There are young women who like your natural face. Believe it or not. And there are grandmothers out there. Believe it or not. I don't know if there are young women out there, but there are grandmothers like me out there that see you. Their potential really good body, best body potentials. There are grandmothers that you can get. Best body grandmothers out there that will stick to you. They don't want anything they don't want sex from you. They know better. They know that's not that's not leading to anything good feeling in terms of, they would never expect a young man to like them, a good looking young man to like them. They never expect that. So maybe there are some men, but they're very rare that like grandmothers. It's very rare. But whether it's rare or not doesn't matter. So there are grandmothers that want you not just in a selfish way. There are grandmothers out there like myself who see potential in you, okay? Who see you as a real good friend, who see you as someone who's very, very valuable to this planet, to this earth, to this society. They see you. They see your potential. They see that you are not using it. But they see it, glimpses of it coming, shining through. Okay? There are moments where you speak the truth. There are moments where you contradict yourself, where you contradict your hedonistic lifestyle and hedonistic philosophy. Okay? There are moments where the true light shines through. There are moments where you call a psychopath out, okay? And that's when the grandmother knows. That's when the good grandmothers, the good Samaritan grandmothers out there, they see you and they feel protective of you because they see your light. They see the importance of who you are, okay? Not the kiddo stuff you're doing on a daily basis. They see that. They see this and they go like, oh, I hope he doesn't oust himself, okay? I hope he makes it through that immature phase and comes out the other end. And then really uses his potential to make the world a better place. And you have that potential, Braden, okay? So I'm not going to call you Caligula. No. You're not Caligula, and you don't need to be Caligula, or Nero, or Mussolini. You don't need to be that. Okay? That's a drug name. That belongs to the past. That belongs to the exploration of immaturity phase. So leave that behind. Be Braden, and be brave. Be the brave Braden, okay? And go through life without the drugs, without changing your mental state. Be in the natural mental state, and even if it's difficult in the beginning, even if you feel downed and you feel low, you feel like, I can never party again because the party drugs are there, you see for yourself how bad they are, what they do. So maybe it's good that they scared you a little bit, because now you see, okay? Don't do it. It's not an option. That's not an option. It's a suicide mission. That's what it is. Don't do it. Okay? That's not an option. So be brave. Be the brave Braden. And not to please anyone, not to please your parents, not to please anyone. Do it for your own greater good and for the greater good of the world, okay? And for all beings, because you have the potential to make the world into a better place. So, peace and love for all living beings.